Hello everyone, welcome to this video. Welcome to my channel. My name is Brenda Campbell. I'm an artist and a certified Zentangle teacher. Today is the second video in my series of 3 videos for my mid-century modern inspired holiday trees. So in the last video, we focused on the tangle tipple and just created our design using orbs of all different sizes. And today we are going to use a tangle by another CZT who I admire tremendously. And his name is Tomàs Padrós, but I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. He lives in Spain and he has created this tangle called Wanderline. And I found it to be a lot of fun. It certainly fits perfectly into the mid-century modern theme with all of its squares. Wanderline is definitely a tangle that can be drawn lots of different ways, but today we are going to use it to create our tree with lots of lines that wander around and create some square, rectangle, angular shapes is what we're looking for today. Let's talk about what we're going to use. I'm going to use a Zentangle Phi tile like we did in the last one. I'm also going to use a Micron PN pen, a Zentangle pencil, but you know, any pencil works, and a tortillon to blend out the graphite. And today we have our little bijou mascot reminding you to be present as we draw today. Take some time for yourself and just be present. Now, we are also going to be adding to this project our Sakura Jelly Roll Stardust pens. They are jelly roll pens that have like, I don't know, they look like glitter pens to me. And I absolutely love them and use them often, as you may know if you've been watching me for a while. So the other thing to note is that even when I teach a Zentangle inspired art class, of which I would call this because we are trying to draw trees. As I teach a ZIA class, I'm still going to try to go through the 8 steps of the Zentangle method. Sometimes though I get kind of caught up in it and I don't actually call them out as we go, but you will notice that I will follow them all. So we're going to go right into it, beginning with step 1, which is gratitude and appreciation. Today I am going to abbreviate it a little bit, so we won't spend nearly as much time on it, but that's fine. And we're simply going to take a few deep breaths and go ahead and begin with the first deep breath, breathing in fully, getting tall as you do, and breathing out completely and slowly and relaxing down as you breathe out. And again, breathing in and out. Okay, one more big breath in. And slowly exhale. And then just let your breath fall into a natural breathing rhythm. And just pay attention to it. Take this moment to just settle down. Settle into this moment. Try and clear your mind. think of something that makes you smile, and then just sit with that for a moment and pay attention to how it makes you feel. Okay, let's take one final big breath in and out. And that's just as simple as it can be. It always helps me to kind of settle into this moment. So I always try to sit, even if all I do is just take a few breaths. I try to honor step one before I start. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and clear my space. And I am going to begin with a pencil. And we are going to put a dot in each of these four corners. That is step 2. Step 3 is to connect these dots and create a border. You notice I turn my tile. That just helps me get a little more consistent line. Okay, now our string today is going to be, we're going to begin with a line down the center from the top of the border all the way down to the bottom. And then we're going to decide where we want our tree to end. And I like to use as much space as I can. So I'm going to go ahead and draw this line way down here. You can make this as far up or down as you want. And then we are going to draw a line from the top point to that bottom. And this will help inform our Christmas tree as we draw our tangle Wanderline. So that's what we're doing next. I put my pencil away. I am picking up my Micron PN pen. And Wanderline is so simple. You can come in from any point. I like to start at the bottom where the, not stem of the tree, but you know, the bark of the tree, the trunk of the tree would be. And I'm going to draw a straight line up for a distance as far as you like, and then I'm going to stop and I'm going to turn that line, and I'm going to make another turn. I'm going to come down, then I'm going to turn my tile, and I'm going to continue with these straight lines. And my line is just going to continue to wander around inside my string line. And you can continue to let your wander line go as far or as short as you like. There's really no wrong way to draw this. And the only rule I'm following, and really there are no rules, but the only rule I'm following is that I am always making a completely sharp turn every time I pivot. So I've got some lines in here, and I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to begin up here at the top. And because I like to go up from the bottom, I'm going to turn my tile upside down for my own sake. And I'm going to start in the center, and I'm going to bring my line down. You can go as far as you want. And I'm going to turn my tile. And I'm going to keep turning my line. The thing I like about this pattern is every time you draw it, it's going to be different. And I just love that. You get surprise at the end. And just keep wandering your line as far as you like, making your shapes as large or small as you like. And I'm just trying to get my lines to be, my boxes, I should say. Trying to get my boxes to a point where they're not all terribly large. It's not a problem to have some large ones, but I like to have a variety. Okay, now I made that connect there. And now I think I'm going to come in from the side over here. Now you can come in as many times as you like. It's perfectly fine. Like I said, there's no rules about how to draw this. I think I'm just going to do this. Now, maybe I'm going to do this. Okay, there we go. I think I'm good. I don't know if I need more or not. I could always add more as I go, but I really don't think I'm going to. So what we have are lots of rectangles. We have lots of squares, or squarish. They're not perfect, remember. I just went ahead and closed off that trunk there. I think I'm going to close this line off here so it doesn't just look like a line that goes off to the side. There, so now I have that closed off. Okay, I kind of like it. I have a nice variety in sizes, and I think that's going to work well. So first of all, before I go on to anything different, I want to take a look at my tree shape, and I want to put some solid black shapes in here to give it some drama. I like the drama, as you know. And so I'm going to start at the top with one of these smaller rectangles. And I'm just going to fill it in with solid black. Then I might do this one. I like to use the smaller spaces to put my solid black in. And let's go over here. I'm just kind of moving around and randomly picking spaces to fill with solid black. And I'm really just going with what moves me, and I'm trying to keep a little bit of balance, a little bit of asymmetrical symmetry, I suppose. Balanced symmetry. Let's do this one. I was debating between that one and the square, but I'll go with this. This may be all I need. I'm going to count them though. 8, 9. Okay, so that's an uneven number, and that makes me happy. Okay, so I am done at the moment with my pen. I'm going to put that down. Okay, I'm going to pick up my pencil, and I am going to put a little line of shading at the top of each square, and I'm trying not to put too much graphite, but just at the tops. And we're going to put some jelly roll ink over top of some of these squares, and this will help give it a little bit of dimension. We'll blend it out underneath. Everywhere there's a straight line that goes across, we're just putting a little bit of graphite underneath that line. Okay, now I'm going to put my pencil down and pick up my tortillon, and I am going to start blending that out. Just lightly with circular motion, and just bringing it down into the space just slightly. And we're going to use our Jelly Roll pens next. And the Jelly Roll ink is water soluble, which just means that it reacts to water. So you could use it like a watercolor if you wanted with a brush and add some water and blend it out. We are not going to do that. That's a little more trouble than I want. What we are going to do is do our shading first, like we're doing right now. And then we're going to come back and you're going to see that because the Jelly Roll ink is water soluble, it will pull that graphite kind of upward, and you will be able to get a look at, it'll look like it's got some dimension, I guess is really what I'm trying to say. We're adding the shading first. It seems kind of maybe weird because we're going to add color, but you'll still see the shading underneath. I like that effect. It's one of the reasons I really enjoy using the Jelly Roll pens. They're quite versatile, in my opinion. Okay, almost done. Okay, and you can kind of see there's a little bit of dimension. If you want, you could even go back in. I'm not adding more graphite. I'm just using what I've got on my tortillon to add a little to one side. I'm using the left side, so I have shading heavier on the top, but then also coming down on that left side of the shape as well. And it's not as heavy because we didn't add any graphite. We're just kind of blending a little more of what we have already there. Okay, I think I'm happy with my graphite, so I'm going to put my tortillon away. Okay, now I'm going to pick up my Sakura Jelly Roll Stardust pens, and I like to use, let's see, we used pinks and reds on the last one, in the last video, so I think this time we're going to use a purple, because I like purple, and we're going to use this turquoise blue. And we shall use this, it's kind of a blue-green blue. It's not a bright green. It's a, I mean, it's a green that has a little more blue in it, I guess. And we're going to stick with these three colors for now. So I'm just going to start with the purple. And just like when I put my black squares in, I'm going to do the same thing where I'm going to go in and fill in my squares with my Jelly Roll ink. But I'm going to do this again to kind of get a balance, if you will. Just randomly placing these. And you don't want to press too hard on the Jelly Roll pen. And if you do it lightly, it almost flows out like paint. Now, as you go through, you'll probably notice that there are also these shapes that are not rectangles or squares. They're just angular shapes. They might look like this one kind of looks like a T on its side. This one looks like an L. And those shapes, you can fill those in if you like. I'm going to leave them for now. And we're going to do something else with them at the end when we finish with our color. Okay, I think I'm going to be done with that for now. That's a good start. We can always add more later if we like. And now I'm going to pick up my turquoise pen and do the same thing I just did, but with turquoise. Now you want to be careful also as you work around this tile, because it takes a minute or two sometimes for these squares, these shapes with the ink, for that ink to dry. And if you brush your hand over it, it will smear, and that's no fun. So just pay attention to where you put your hand and avoid smearing it. But also remember, there are no mistakes. So don't worry about it too much. Okay, I think that's pretty good for my blue. Now I'm going to my green, and I kind of like to work from the top down, so I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing. Just have to be careful, like I mentioned, not to smear anything that's still wet, so just be mindful as you draw. I'm gonna keep going and just hopefully I can do it so that I don't have two of them touching. Let's go back to my purple. I can put some purple here. And here. Still being mindful not to smear any ink that might still be wet. Good to remind yourself of that occasionally. I could put one here. Okay, that's all the purple. Pick my blue back up and let's see what we have. We have this square here, which I can make blue. It touches on the corner. And this one. And this one. Okay, I think that's all for the blue. Now get my green back out. And that one's gonna have to stay open. That's okay, but I can put green here. Actually, let me just look and see. Do I need some more balance? I think I'll put this green in here too, and that'll be all. I think I'm done with the ink, the Jelly Roll ink. Now I'm going to pick up my black micron pen one more time. And what we're going to do now is we're going to go into some of these spaces that have these odd shapes. And we are going to fill them in with some lines. So this shape here, I'm going to do long lines. Okay, so that's our first one. And let's go over here and do this one. And this one will do the lines go in the opposite direction. We're just looking to create some interest, maybe a little bit of drama. Let's do this one, but we'll do diagonal lines. This one. Now at this point, you can look at your design and decide, do you need some more? Do we need more of a certain color? Do we need more open spaces? Do we need more lines? This is where you get to decide how you want to continue. Now I'm going to put some lines here where the trunk would be. And let's look for some more. How about if we do straight up and down in this space? Now yours is, I'm sure, going to look very different from mine. So you just need to walk around in on your tile and decide what does it need. I think I'm going to put lines in this space. It's just a square, but that's okay. And then I think I might be okay. I think that might be balanced enough. Or I can go back in and add a couple more solid black squares. Okay, I believe my design is pretty good at this point. So when you reach a point where you are happy with what you have, then, I lied. I'm gonna draw some lines in this space. Then I think I might be done. But what I was saying is when you finish filling your spaces, whether they're Jelly Roll ink or black and white ink, what I want you to do then is to decide, look at what you've got and decide whether or not you need to go over any of the black again. Sometimes the lines kind of get lost. And you can simply just go right over them again. Now I'm trying to just do that top where we did the shading with the graphite, just to kind of define that line. And I'm only going over the lines where we have the Jelly Roll ink. And this is just a little extra love, we call it. And it is not required. It's totally up to you. Sometimes I don't take the time to add a little extra love. But I don't know, it just felt like this required some. Okay, I think that's plenty of extra love. So, kind of did step 6, the shading, before we added color, and then we added more black lines, and then we added some extra love. So sometimes we can switch things up a little bit. So we've done a pattern, Wanderline by Tomàs Padrós, and now I am moving on to step 7, which is to initial and sign. Apparently I missed a couple lines. And I think I'm going to put mine just right in this space here. For some reason, that seems to be calling for it, so. And there we go. There is our Wanderline mid-century inspired tree for the holidays. That's all there is to it. It's super simple. I hope you play around with it. I did have, this is where I started. I played around with this. I even added one where I did the negative and made the tree just the blank space there. I also have a bookmark. This is that die I used to create this die cut shape for the bookmark. Just want to thank you, Tomàs, for creating this for us. I really enjoy using it for these trees, and I hope you all do as well. So that is it. Just admire what you've done. Take some time for yourself today. I hope you drew along, and you know I love to see your work. If you want, just go ahead and tag me as you post them, and then hopefully I will see it and give you a little bit of love. That is all for this video. I thank you again if you're still hanging out with me here. And as always, I will remind you to be you and be happy.